Hi, friends. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about the act of trusting and of surrendering to life and how this practice is an active practice. But before we get into it, if you are enjoying these fun and practical conversations on the human experience, please be sure to subscribe to this channel to support its growth and more content like this. With that said, let's dive right in. So, the act of trusting and of surrendering to life is an active practice. It is an active act. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of us have this notion of surrendering as being something that is from a place of defeat and being from a place of just fully giving up and of being something that's passive. But in actuality, when we are harnessing this power of trust and of surrender, which I think faith and trust go hand in hand, it is a very active practice and something that most of us, at least at the very beginning, when we are going on this quest of surrendering to life and trusting the flow of life, it is something that we have to actively engage in day by day, sometimes moment by moment, hour to hour, but just something that we have to intentionally be practicing actively. So, what is the power? Let's talk about the power behind trusting and surrendering. And it really goes hand in hand with understanding who and what you are at the core of your being and understanding the fact that you are always manifesting your external reality based upon the frequencies that you are radiating, the information that you are giving to that life force energy, that universal creative energy that is who and what you are at the core of your being, that is the power that is animating you, and it is the power that is managing your affairs. So I've talked about this extensively in all my videos, but from my perspective, who and what we are as these human instruments, who and what we are at the core of our being is that life force energy that is animating us. We are not our body. We are not our thoughts. We are not our past experiences. We are not our labels either. I think I'm not sure if I talked about that, but we are not these roles that we are playing in this theater that we call planet Earth, that we call life. We sometimes fall into playing roles such as mother, sister, daughter, um, you know, boss, worker, whatever. We all kind of understand what this means as far as labels, a thing that we really identify ourselves with. So we are not any of those things, though. They are just roles that we are temporarily playing as these human instruments that is being animated by that life force energy, which is who and what we genuinely are at the core of our beings. So when we are able to really embrace this perspective, to embody it, it is from that place that we genuinely are able to really understand the mechanics and how manifestation operates and how we are always constantly manifesting our external reality based upon our habitual thought patterns and how we are identifying our feelings and emotions. So that's basically the formula of how we are constantly magnetizing or repelling people, places, things, and conditions into our individual personal realities. And from there, of course, our choices and just how we are interacting with the things that we are magnetizing, these are the things that are shaping our reality. So, going back to trust and surrender, it is when we are genuinely in a place in which we and this is an active thing. Again, we trust that this life force energy is working on our behalf. We have planted the seeds of our heart's desires. And I've talked about this in a couple of videos ago, but So, this is how we are consciously manifesting when we kind of get a firm grasp on the mechanics and how manifesting operates in general. We can get really specific with it and start consciously, with intention, manifesting our lives, our external reality, which is a product of our habitual thought patterns, which are the seeds. So, those are the seeds that we are planting that produce, we could say the seeds are the roots and the external is the fruit. So, it becomes easier for us if we find ourselves in a circumstance in which is not desirable and we are being called to surrender to life, to trust life, and we are seeking to transcend the external, because the most powerful thing we can do when we find ourselves in an external circumstance that is undesirable and we understand, okay, I have the ability to rearrange this external circumstance based upon my internal environment. So, between you planting the new seeds, the life affirming, constructive, healing, nourishing, rich, fulfilling, satisfying seeds, you plant these seeds. And between when you plant the seed and when the seeds manifest in the external, there is a gestation period. And in this gestation period, we are going to be called to surrender to the flow and to fully trust the timing and intelligence of life. And this is a very active and powerful thing. It is bold. It is sometimes the most fearless and courageous thing you can do if you're finding yourself in a very undesirable circumstance and really don't see anything on the external that is going to be helpful in alleviating the undesirable circumstance. Just to know that going from reprogramming your internal environment, your internal systems, you have the power to rearrange your external reality from the inside out. We all have access to this. This is all based upon my own experience and years and years and years of research. And ultimately, this is a perspective. I say this all the time, but life is all about perspective, and your perspective is within your authority to consciously and with intention cultivate, to curate your perspective in a way that is satisfying and that is feels fulfilling for you and empowering. So again, this to me feels like a very empowering perspective, and I keep proving to myself time and time again that this is how reality operates. You are constantly manifesting your external reality based upon your habitual thought patterns and how you are defining your feelings. I'll talk about that in another video. I know I say that a lot, but your heart is a powerful magnet. This is all rooted in science. Your heart emits a magnetic field in and of itself that is 5,000 times more powerful than the magnetic field that your brain emits. All of our organs emit a magnetic field, which contribute to the overall magnetic field of our human instrument, the energy body of our human instrument. But the heart is the biggest and greatest contributor of them all. So I'll get into that in another video, but just to have that um, just a little bit of an understanding of what I mean when I say these internal systems, because they are very actively shaping your external reality. So, trust and surrender, again, is a very active practice. So, when we are in between, we have planted these fulfilling, satisfying, constructive seeds, meaning we have reprogrammed the system of our mind to be constantly only allowing these constructive, healing, nourishing thoughts to enter the programming system of our mind. And there might be a lag between the seeds being planted and the manifestation in the external. And our responsibility during that time is to surrender and to trust life as deeply, as completely, and as genuinely as we can to dissolve resistance. There's just so much to be said here. I keep wanting to go into other. So, yes. So, this is what trust and surrender does. It dissolves the resistance that might be repelling the new conditions that you are intentionally manifesting on the external. So our job isn't to get obsessed over the seeds, it is to really get obsessed, if we're going to get obsessed with anything, to get obsessed with the environment we are creating and how much we are able to genuinely trust and surrender to life. And it's going to look different for everybody, really, but just to remember that trust and surrender is active and it is within your responsibility to constantly be setting that intention. And what I mean by we have to trust the journey, the process, which sometimes can feel confusing when we're in it, but we do that by reminding ourselves that this life force energy, this God force energy that is permeating, saturating, maintaining everything in Mother Nature, everything in the vast and mysterious universe. It is the same force that is working on your behalf to manifest the new, desirable, productive, satisfying circumstances for you because it is the one who is witnessing your life unfold. It only wants to be delighted. It only is seeking to be delighted through your human instrument, through your life. But we have, most of us, developed very toxic, depleting, destructive thought patterns, which again are constantly shaping our external reality. When we are allowing destructive, toxic, depleting thought patterns to constantly be entering the programming system of our mind, and we are defining our feelings based upon fear and worry, we will be attracting and repelling based on those frequencies. So, yeah, kind of lost my train of thought on that exact what I was saying there. But just know that if you are finding yourself in an undesirable circumstance, it is because you are radiating, you're magnetizing those conditions into your experience based upon these inherited thought patterns, and you have everything you need within you to be able to reverse them. And I feel like this is such an empowering and also a very relieving revelation to know that it doesn't matter if on the external you don't necessarily see a way. You were able to create that way through creating harmony and alignment within yourself. And by doing that, you will either watch your external reality dissolve in a way that we would define as miraculous, or a way will be shown to you. I guarantee it, because this is how reality operates. So you have everything you need within you to rearrange your external by rearranging and reprogramming your internal systems. And then from there, actively practicing trust and surrender, because we are able to genuinely embody this surrender and this trust, this faith, this unshakable faith, because we know that the most powerful, creative, and to me, the most loving, playful genius of the universe is working on your behalf. You cannot lose. You are always winning. If you are affirming that you are always winning, you are ensuring that you are always winning. The trick is to understand that the 3D, the three-dimensional reality, this world that we think is physical matter, it takes time. There's a little bit of a lag between the fourth dimensional, which is the world of energy, which is our imagination, which is our internal environment. So when you imagine something with conviction, it is real. That dimension is just as real as the three-dimensional. The world of energy, just because we cannot perceive it with our limited senses, doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It absolutely exists. It's absolutely real. And you possess the power to harness the fourth dimensional, to harness the power within the energy dimension, because that's who and what you are at the core of your being. You are that creative, universal, genius energy field. You are that. That is the power that is animating you. That is the power that is seeking to express its infinite creative genius through you, as you, in the form of your life. Your life is a creative act. So when we are able to genuinely cultivate trust and surrender to the flow of life, knowing that every step we're taking, every single moment that we are participating in life, it is guiding us. That is the path to the new life affirming, healing, productive, satisfying, fulfilling seeds that we have planted. And every step we are taking, we know that that is the path to our new rearranged external reality. And there's always going to be a next level. There's always going to be a new destination. There's always going to be a new desire for those of us who are choosing to participate in this life, in this three-dimensional reality in which those things we have the ability to attain. Of course, there's no one size fits all approach to life and living a satisfying, meaningful, productive life. But again, from my experience, there always seems to be more. And to me, that is the depth of it. And the more desires that are revealed to you, it is that God force energy, that life force energy. Those are the things it wants to experience through your particular human instrument, through your life. I don't think we need to, I know we don't need to deny our heart's desires. We just have to be courageous, bold, and brave enough to trust life, to trust the process, to trust the journey, because the journey is what is preparing us to receive the new rearranged external reality in a way that feels satisfying and a way that ensures that the things that we are manifesting will stick around until some new desire comes and things need to be rearranged more. But this is the game of life. This is what we are here to do. So, yeah, trusting, surrendering to me is a fearless thing. It is a bold thing. It is a brave thing. And it is about understanding that life, the journey is life. That is life. Life will never be anything else. Like the destination, the rearranging, that's just one moment in time. But the journey, the process, the day to day, all of that, that is life. So I find this to be a very exhilarating way to approach life, and to understand that even when it doesn't really make sense to me logically, that I have already seen the fulfillment of my heart's desires in my imagination. And the fourth dimension, like I said, is just as real as the three-dimensional. So if I know it exists there, to me, it's already done. It's done. It's already existing in the three-dimensional. It just takes a little bit of time for the three-dimensional to catch up to the fourth dimensional. We can do things instantly in the fourth dimensional. It's just like when we're in the dream realm, in the dream state, when we're asleep, it's the same thing. I don't know if that's the fourth dimensional, the fifth dimensional, the sixth dimensional, but in that state, which feels so real when we're in it, we can't say that that is not as real as the three-dimensional, but we know that in that state, we are instantly able to manifest things and to experience things. So the fourth dimensional to me is just as real, if not more real, than the 3D. The three-dimensional is a product, it is the effect, and the cause is your internal environment, your internal programming systems. We live in a world of cause and effect. And the things that you're experiencing in your external reality is the effect, with the cause being your internal environment. So, again, the act of trusting, the act of surrendering, the act of unwavering, unshakable faith, it is active, it is bold, it is brave, it is fearless. To me, it is the ultimate act of fearlessness, because sometimes we find ourselves in the unknown. And instead of acting from a place of desperation and of needing to push, pull, and force on the external, in those moments, if and when you are able to deeply surrender to life, even when it seems like nothing is happening in your external, that act of surrendering, that act of trust, that act of faith is leaps and bounds more powerful than any action you can take on the external. It is a very active and intentional practice, and something that I have found to be imperative if and when we decide to go on a quest of consciously manifesting our overall life and very specific circumstances as well. So, just a very important element to remember, to remind yourself of, and to take on the responsibility of self cultivating and of intentionally embodying, because you have access to it. I absolutely know you do. You have access to it. You have this ability. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise you. And yeah, so I just wanted to drop this message in case it resonates with somebody out there and just motivates them and inspires them to get curious about life, to get curious about the power that lives within them, just the human potential in general. And just, yeah, to go on your own journey of researching. It's an amazing time to be alive. We have so many resources at our fingertips. And yeah, I would love to serve as a resource as well. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them below. I'm the most grateful that you dropped by. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next one.